Hi guys, it's Chris and Kim from the Movement Hub. So you might have seen that we've started doing online therapy consultations. We've had a few questions about, how that might work, how it's a little bit different to obviously our face-to-face sessions. So what we thought we'd do is just a nice short video, just giving you an idea of how like a common presentation might look during an online therapy consultation. Okay, so it just gives you a bit of a better idea as to what to expect, that's all. Okay, so just before we start, I'll just have to say that what we're doing here is obviously it's not a real scenario. What I would have done before this is taken a very thorough case history from Kim, including her current and previous medical history. Also, any kind of medications. I'd screen for any kind of red flags, so any potential of serious pathology before going into this assessment as well. So we're assuming that's all been done, and we're just going to go through more so a bit of a movement assessment and see if we can figure out what's going on. Okay. Yeah. So Kim, could you just give us a little bit of an idea as to the background of how this came on?
Okay, so obviously at the moment we're allowed to get out once a day for some exercise, so I've picked up some running, which I don't do very much of generally. And I'm kind of getting a bit of a niggle in my right knee at the moment from doing that. So just a bit concerned about what's going on and whether you can help me with it, really.
Yeah, okay. And whereabouts in your right knee is that? Is that something that you could point to so that you could show me?
So it's quite general. It's sort of around there. I can't really pinpoint it exactly, but just sort of underneath the kneecap.
Okay. And is the so just underneath your kneecap, there's your patella tendon. So there's kind of a soft bit right at the front of your kneecap. If you come just below, so that's it, right in the middle there. Do you get any tenderness there at the moment?
Not really, no. It's just sort of a general ache all around.
Okay. And if you kind of move your hand around the side, so around the outside of your knee as well, and keep pressing around the outside. Any kind of tender spots around there?
Really, it's difficult to kind of pinpoint it.
Okay, and then if you go towards the inside, the same sort of thing again.
Yeah, it's sort of the same, really.
Okay, so nothing that's really kind of standing out as you're putting pressure into those different areas.
No, not really. It's just sort of like just an ache.
Okay, yeah. And is this coming on is it coming on during your running? Like how far are you able to get into a run before it starts to come on?
Not far at the moment, to be fair. I sort of just like a general ache that can last the run, and once I finish as well, it just feels a bit achy and doesn't feel quite my own knee.
yeah, absolutely, yeah. Is it how far can you get at the moment before it starts to come on, do you know?
Maybe half a kilometre. Okay,
cool. Okay, so fairly soon into it as well. Okay, and are you doing much warm up in the lead up to that, or is that kind of you just going straight out the door?
Not a lot of warm up, no, if I'm honest. Do a few kind of stretches and stuff before I go out, but generally I kind of start with a little bit of a walk and just get straight into the run.
Right, okay, yeah. And then how long sort of after a run would you say it's kind of hanging around for until it settles down again?
Maybe about an hour or so.
Okay, yeah, perfect. Okay, so I mean, you said obviously that you've ramped your running up quite a lot in terms of how often you're doing it as well. I mean, it's quite natural at the moment, isn't it? I think, with a lot of us having a bit more time that we start to do things like that. So, I mean, it's great to be getting out exercising. However, sometimes it might be the body's just not quite ready for the sheer amount that it's kind of gone from and then gone to. So, I mean, what we're going to do is we'll take you through a little bit of a movement assessment and we'll see how that's feeling. And then we'll go from there. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, so first of all, if I can get you just up onto your feet.
Can you see okay?
Yes, you should be okay. You okay just bringing your, so I can see your right knee, is that okay?
Is that okay?
Yeah, perfect, thank you. Okay, so you said previously that you're proficient in the gym as well. So could you just do some body weight squats to start off with? Just 5 body weight squats, whatever you're comfortable with. Good. And any kind of issues there at the moment?
It feels okay at the moment.
Okay, good. Okay, so now could you go into like a split squat for me, like a sort of lunge position? So let's do 1 on each side.
Do you want me to the side or?
Yeah, if you could go side on for me, that'd be perfect, yeah.
So 1 each side or?
Yeah, let's do 3 reps each side if you can. Any issues there?
No, it was okay. I think if I push too far forward, it can feel a bit niggly.
Right, okay, no problems. Now if we try the other side. How's that?
Yeah, I felt okay.
Okay, yeah, good stuff. Okay, and then after doing those, you feel okay? It's not kind of ramped up at all or anything now?
No, not at the moment, no. Feels
Okay,
all right.
cool. Yeah, so what we're going to do is just kind of increase the load a little bit now. So have you got anything that you could potentially hold on to? We're just going to do a bit of like a single leg, bit like a sort of single leg quarter squat first.
Can you see me from there?
Yeah, that's absolutely fine, yeah. So we're just going to do, so obviously standing on your right leg, and then we're just going to drop you down just kind of back quarter of the way down first and just see how that feels. Yeah, good. And then back up. How's that?
Yeah, I can feel it probably a bit more.
Okay, no worries. And then would you be comfortable going a little bit deeper into that to see if that changes anything?
So there?
Yeah. How's that compared to the one before?
Yeah, I could probably feel it a bit more.
Right, okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to try and put a little bit of impact through, but less movement, just to see how it deals with that force as well. So what I'm going to ask you to do is you're just going to be on your feet, and basically I just want you to do just kind of bouncing on your toes. So just lightly up and down on your toes, and we're just going to do 10 of those. Good. Any issues there?
No, it feels all right.
Okay. So now if we can do the same sort of thing, but you're coming just off the floor now. So little bounces just off the floor. Good. And then we're going to do a little bit more again. So we're going to come off the floor a little bit more, bouncing a little bit higher off the floor this time. So your feet are coming totally off the floor. Good. How's that?
It's okay right now. I think if I was to do much more.
Okay. Yeah. Are you able to jog on the spot, do you think? Good. How's that feeling?
That feels okay.
Okay. And then what? Sorry, if you go again.
There's not too much impact with that.
No. Okay. Brilliant. So we're going to try just hopping on the leg if you're comfortable with that.
On the right one, yeah?
Yeah, we'll try doing, so we're just going to hop. Let's do it on the left first, and then we'll go to the right. So if you can do 5 hops on the left, 5 hops on the right. Good. And then onto the right side.
It feels a little bit more uncomfortable.
Right. Okay. No problems. So, I mean, at the moment, obviously, what we're doing there is we're just increasing the amount of force that you're having to take through the knee. From the background that you've given me as well and how it's come on, we suspect that, it's potentially, maybe doing a little bit too much too soon. And the body's just kind of giving you signals to say that it's not happy with that right now. So the initial thing that we're going to try and do is just to try and calm the area down a little bit. And then we're also going to work on the capacity of it as well. So what we'll do for that is we're going to discuss how we might sort of adapt your training program a little bit in terms of your running.
Okay.
So we'll go through that and I'll send that across to you as well. And then what we're going to do is just a few different exercises that you can be working on in between, just to help with the muscles that support that joint a little bit as well. So it seems to me there's a condition that's kind of, it's known as runner's knee, if you've come across that before, which is basically just a little bit of irritation. So between the kneecap and where it sits onto the main knee joint. So sometimes that just gets a little bit irritated, and that's what we suspect you have at this point. So that's what we're going to work with at the moment in terms of what we think is going on. And what we'll do is we'll give you some exercises and we'll advise you in terms of your running training. And then we'll have a look, we'll reassess in a couple of weeks' time, and we'll gain some feedback in between these sessions as well to see how you're getting on. And then we'll move forward from there, if that works for you.
Okay, yeah, sounds good.
Okay, brilliant. Okay, so at the end of the assessment, what I'll be looking at doing is we'd be adapting Kim's running program a little bit. So we'll potentially look at, decreasing the amount of mileage she's doing at the moment, playing around with different things like the intensity and the frequency that she's doing them to. We might also look at things like adapting her running slightly. So giving her certain cues to be focusing on, like gait cues, for instance, with runner's knee, it might be something where we say, okay, when you're doing a run, I want you to focus on not letting your knees touch together as you're running. So what that'll do is that'll just help to adapt the forces a little bit and just shift them away from the knees slightly, which might make it a little bit more comfortable for Kim to actually do a run in as well. Along with this, we generally we'll run through the exercises in the session with you that we're going to prescribe to help out too. And then what we do is we follow that up with exercise sheets that have all the exercises on, with pictures, descriptions and videos too. In between each session, you can always contact us then to ask questions, and we'll often book in a simple follow-up just to see how you're getting on and how we can help you move forward even further. So there you have it, simple as that. If it's something that you're struggling with aches and pains, and you think that we can help, by all means, drop us a question if you want to first, that's absolutely fine. If you'd like to book straight away, that's fine as well. You can do that on our website, which is www.themovementhub.co.uk. Thanks very much, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.